The UN, along with several Western countries, wants to depenalize pedophiles. Yes, this might be somehow unthinkable only a few years ago. However, the current moral downhill is an aspect to look at closely. Let's find out more. I think it's what repulses and disgusts me the most in the world, and that is the topic of pedophiles. We're seeing how the UN, that terrifying organization that does absolutely nothing and seems dead when it comes to solving general problems, but when it comes to the interests of the United States, it sacrifices everything to satisfy its master. Unfortunately, we have seen that they are trying to legitimize and even partially legalize pedophiles. The UN, along with several Western countries, has suggested that certain aspects currently criminalized should no longer be so. I'll read a paragraph that made my stomach turn. These exceptions propose that material not involving a real child or generated autonomously by artificial intelligence should not be criminalized. You'll see what AI is going to end up being used for. People think we're going to colonize Mars, but unfortunately, what we're going to have is an onslaught of moral destruction. That's what we'll get. Or content created within a consensual relationship and kept for private use. In other words, they are legitimizing having those videos in your home, when right now, if that happened, they would enter your home and arrest you, rightly so. But soon that might change, as it shouldn't be subject to mandatory criminal prosecution according to the defenders of this stance. In such cases, legal prosecution should be optional, which represents a significant shift from the universal prohibitions that have been the norm under the UN Convention on the rights of the child. On one hand, they are pushing this. On the other hand, they are involved in the sexual indoctrination of children. And on another hand, they are dealing with the trans issue, specifically trans age, where suddenly a 58-year-old person says they are 5, but these people who claim to be 5 have sexual relations with others pretending to be 5. This sounds to me like a social disease spreading and destroying the remaining values of our society, and I believe it is something that must not be allowed. There was already an attempt to create a party in Netherlands, the Charity, Freedom, and Diversity Party, a party of perverts, of people who were friends of children, trying lowering the age of consent in the Netherlands from 16 to 12. What should be done with these people? Well, I believe any adult who feels attracted to a child should be under surveillance at all times, and if there is a real danger of them carrying out any of these activities, they should be locked up. I'm sorry, but I believe some people should be locked up and not allowed out because they are a danger to society. I believe someone who takes advantage of a child should not be forgiven or reintegrated. These people should be separated from society to ensure they don't do it again, because they are destroying a children's life. We, as adults, have the duty to protect the children of future generations and to instill values in them. This is something truly heinous, and seeing our politicians serving lobbies whose aim is to abuse children makes me sick. It's something intolerable. I would go to war over this. It seems like a sign of undeniable decay and degeneration. I found it incredible that one of the countries opposing this was Rwanda. Rwanda is defending the right to a decent childhood more than Western countries. Rwanda, the joke, writes itself. China is also defending this as an abomination, and here we are acting as if nothing is happening. Well, Let them promote these people to act with more impunity. Let them organize better, reach more people, and pervert more people as the disease spreads. I'm sorry, but I think society needs to take a stand and say enough is enough, because they are going to destroy the minds of future generations by trying to whitewash and legitimize something that is the most criminal act imaginable. We must say enough. I'd like to emphasize a couple of issues within this topic that particularly make me sick. First of all, what is this about consensual relationships? That if they are consensual, it's not so bad. I'm sorry, but a 50-year-old adult having relations with a 9-year-old child, no matter how much they have dominated, controlled, or convinced that minor by deceiving them, is still a horrible crime. It's repulsive. I can't understand how an adult could be attracted to a child. It's disgusting and against nature. It's still just as bad, and those trying to legitimize this should see a psychiatrist, be committed to a facility, and have their issues addressed, because there's a serious problem here, a very serious problem. I've known people who, with today's hypersexualization, reach levels of mental illness. Many years ago, I knew a woman who went on about sexual liberation and did strange sexual things, and I remember people got angry with me when I criticized this filth, saying that it was degenerate. She once told me, "Why does it matter to you what others do with their roles and things like that, as long as no one gets hurt?" I was wondering what she was going to say next, and she told me that if two adults decide to pretend to be a child and do that role to get aroused, it's fine because they are adults. I told her, first, you're sick, and second, anyone who gets aroused by it that is even sicker. You're both rotten inside. It's disgusting. These are the people who will be happy with this kind of filth. There is no such thing as a consensual sexual relationship with a 10-year-old child. It doesn't exist. It cannot be allowed, and it must be dealt with as harshly as possible, without mercy. Just thinking about it makes me angry. I'm getting nervous. Seeing their faces in my mind makes me want to. What a horror. What a horror of a society we are becoming. But there are many people like that. If you move in circles with people who are overly sexually empowered, there are many people who are very, very ill, believe me. Regarding the generation of content with AI, as I mentioned before, AI will end up being used for people to indulge in perversions at home with VR headsets, imagining themselves in a scenario far removed from their reality. Then there will be the truly degenerate, who will ask AI to do things that are sickening. AI should be programmed to immediately alert authorities if people try to simulate child predatorism, and the law should act with full force. We need to toughen the laws for sure. We must act against these people. I remember in Spain, Irene Montero said that boys, girls, and non-binary children could sleep with whomever they wanted. Not literally, but that was the gist. Children shouldn't be sleeping with anyone. They're children. Leave them alone. And this woman is a mother of 3 children. It's truly insane. This is like a religion, the woke religion, and they have their commandments. Even if some of them can't say it publicly, they defend them internally, and they will try to implement them in schools and high schools with the excuse of sexual freedom. Freedom implies simultaneously unrestrictiveness and unslavery. They are two sides of the same coin, not different currencies. I bring this because I will make future videos regarding linguistic relativity. One thing is sexual freedom, and another is sexual degeneration. It's like the typical grandmother's phrase, freedom is not the same as libertinism, but this isn't even libertinism, this is debauchery. A total degeneration for the society. They're degenerates, and people don't call them out for what they are, but this is what they are, and this is why I'm upset doing this video. I've tried to hold back as much as possible, but this topic especially disgusts me. I hope you like this video. Please share and comment. I would highly appreciate your opinions on this topic. Like and subscribe to support the channel, and see you next time.